Leah. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning, June 1st. Wow, it's hard to believe. Everybody should be getting out of school soon. It's bright and early at 5:20 morning. Alicia and I will be here with you live at 7 a.m. this morning, broadcasting here in Corpus Christi at Majic 104.9 FM. Hope that you will join us, and we are working to get everything that we do to you in the most effective ways. So give time, still working on all that, and hope you'll enjoy everything. So you may see us walking around here. I can't play the music because I'll be violating copyright laws, so I'm not going to do that. I've got a good record. I want to keep it that way. So, and this is the first time going live on YouTube. Never done it live on YouTube, so this is kind of cool. And if y'all get us some more views and likes, then we can go live from YouTube on our phones once we've reached, I believe, it's 1,000 viewers. So make sure you spread the word to everybody. I'll give the YouTube channel and all that information later. And again, Thursday, got an exciting weekend coming up. So that one's going to stay live. So we don't have any choice.
Morning, everyone. There goes the hand. Good morning, everyone, from Corpus Christ in South Texas, right here on the edge of the Wild Horse Desert.
Move fast either. I don't move. Correctly.
Are you blurred? But over here, you're.
But over here, I'm fine. We'll have to ask my husband because we hope that he's watching so that he can critique and give me the IT expertise on the YouTube, because I'm moving really slow. It's really messing with me. It's like a day
Can we stay
effect.
outside and sit here?
We
Can we
can't.
hear ourselves?
You want me to do that?
Either I or you can.
Let's go back. Oh, wait, no.
So I'm going to go live over here.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alicia here with Leah on Majic 104.9 Robstown, Corpus Christ, right on the edge of the Wild Horse Desert.
I got in trouble for that the other day.
For what? Doing what?
Giving him the, it's Joel Osteen. He was at his son's graduation. And he did the YouTube sign. And they tore him up.
Because of his allegiance, or?
I'm not sure.
I love.
I should be talking up on the phone.
Live video start. Because, your news feed. Okay, no problem.
But it was on there, evidently.
Can I go? It was an air publishing. Yeah. I bet it's because of the music. It doesn't do that to me.
And I don't have any way to know. Honey, could you text me and let me know how YouTube's working? Kind of hard to look at YouTube myself. I'm going to try that.
You have a song ready? You got 2 minutes.
All right, where's the eject button?
Okay.
Okay.
Now eject.
Eject. Look, I'm taking lessons. Stop, eject, play CD in. Let's see. I'm gonna do number 6. I love that, man. Number
Okay, sit over here. You come and get your, go ahead and turn this on here. So all you have to do is press the green button. Everything else is ready to go. Okay.
And we are. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that just you get to learn along with us, with me. Okay, now we're going to try a little Tim McGraw. I hope that y'all enjoy this. We're working with the Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and it seems to be going. You can see it's bebopping around, but we got it, got it going on. So I hope y'all enjoy this song.
So if we all sit here, you can put all your music here, and I'll bring my chair and I'll just put my stuff here. That will work stable.
Instead of bebopping around.
Yeah. Work, what do you think?
So,
And I brought you in case we have to put that off here.
a jacket.
Yeah. Oh, let me go turn it down.
Dude.
Microphone holders.
I brought one too.
Do you have
I
one?
did.
Okay. So that we don't have to get back and forth on that.
I'm texting. I'm working. At least I'm not. That's some old Tim McGraw.
Is it?
Yeah. Let's see.
Who's he married to?
He is married to Faith Hill. They are the cutest little lovable couple ever.
Yeah, they've stayed together, and that's unusual.
That is unusual.
It's real different when there's, it's very different when there's two people.
Oh, it's, yeah.
Oh, and they have a family?
Yep.
Oh, good. We're still live on here. Good morning, everyone. We're back live on Facebook. You're listening to Alissa and Leah on Majic 104.9. Oh, Robstown TX. What's there? Oh, it's okay.
Lee, ever felt
All
like
right,
you were
thank you
watching?
so much. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Alicia Gallegos. Hoping that you can hear me. Write a comment or give me a call, 361-289-7788 or 289-8877 if you have a request. In the meantime, I'm sending this song out to Manuel.
I'm just going to slide this.
Soy Luz y Sombra from the Chavis Ravine CD. Yeah, just turn it here. Oh, so we can switch. I see what you're doing.
Well, this is slide it over. Don't roll it.
I'll figure out how to work this.
Yeah, and I looked last night a way to amplify the buttons, and it's the really different way based on what I was reading. So if y'all heard that and anybody has an idea, let us know.
Well, you know, my son has this, and this is
I
loud.
love that thing. That's cool.
But it's, you know, I have to hook it up to the, anyway, I haven't figured out how to work it yet. I bet you know how. That's why I brought it.
Is this playing?
No, so you can look over here.
Okay.
What's playing right now is the one that's got the switch on. Hey, somebody give us a call so we can practice the phone buttons. 289-7788 or 289-8877.
That was number 5.
Okay, you're going on. Okay, welcome back, everyone. What song were you going to play?
It's ready to go. We're going to play That's Why God Made Mexico by Tim McGraw.
Okay, was that number 5?
That is number 5.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're ready to go. Okay, is D2 on? There you go. Sometimes the starts are soft. When this is moving, you're on the air.
Okay.
If they're ever not moving, that means something.
Sorry for that little bit of silence there.
Dead
Making sure y'all are awake like we are.
air. Yeah, for a while I was dead air, Alicia, when I first started. I'd be talking away, and I'd have to switch off. There you go.
No, I love this song. These are all I are these and forever I do.
So, I was out at the island.
Huh?
I was out at the island a week or so ago,
Uh-huh.
and they have a trolling look out there too, but it's so different.
Love that hat. I'm usually that.
And then I got one
Oh
that
my
has
God, it's
people
gorgeous.
surfing on it.
Look at those colors.
$6.99.
Can't calling me. Did y'all hear that? Hold on, sweetie pie.
So,
Yes, sweetie pie. What audio? Hi, everybody. Can you see me talking to you?
Well, all my friends are so serious.
Well, I see the thing moving, so. There's little green lights. No, I haven't done anything different. And it says there's a green light going up and down. Okay, sweetie. All right, darling. Okay, sweetie. Bye. Bye.
Y'all didn't hear any of that. Can you hear us? Or what did he say?
He said he couldn't. All of a sudden, that broadcasting stopped, but I don't think that's correct because I can see the little green dots moving.
Mm-hmm. And we're still live over here. Have been for 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
Thank you
What
so
did I
much
do?
for joining us this morning. I'm modeling a hat that I purchased in Port Aransas. Their students are wearing them. The island residents are wearing them. They come in different colors. I picked the orange. I think this is orange, yeah. They had some with yellow, and they also had one with surfers on it. And I got that, so I'll model that tomorrow morning.
It's gorgeous. Love
Thank
it.
you. It's really nice.
It is. I really, really like it. You can wear it with so many different things. I love those colors. Those are
And
awesome.
they have a lot of different styles. And they have a lot of different styles as well. You're listening to Majic Q 104.9, Robstown, Corpus Christ. I'm Alicia Gallegos here with Leah Tyner. Let's listen to a little bit of Tish Hinojosa. Okay, so there we go. Sometimes they're good stuff too. Let's see, Leah. See if I can turn this. There we go. No, we're good. All I have to do is turn it. There we go. Yeah. Here you go. All right, let's go, girl. Put that ponytail up. There we go.
She's got a small head.
Do I? Okay, everybody, come on. Let's exercise time. Hey, Joseph. Let's go, Joseph. Come on. If you're still in bed, you can still exercise. Just get those fingers going. Just reach for the sky this morning. There we go.
See, doesn't Alicia do this
Bring it
hat
down.
wonderful justice?
And while you're bringing the arms down, wave your hands. Get that blood going on your extremities. Yep, just like that. And now forward, up and down. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Stop. Okay.
Ooh, Leah's getting this next song ready. Is it a love song?
Let's find a love song. I think we can do that. Okay. What song it is?
Love song. Who's it going out to?
Okay, let's sing this.
How about Mo out in Goliath?
That sounds
Oh, how
awesome.
about Mr. B? Mr. Villarreal. He said he already tuned in, didn't he?
He did. I saw him live on Facebook this morning.
He must get to work very early. You know, it's kind of hard to get up at 3:30 in the morning.
It is. I would think extremely hard. I have a hard time getting up. I didn't, my alarm went off at 3:30. Actually at 3:15, and I snoozed and I snoozed.
Well, remember, this is how Walter Cronkite, Katie Couric, Howard Stern, they all started out on radio in the dark hours, late hours and early hours. So maybe, who knows, maybe we'll get a spotlight when the sun's out.
We can make a spot when the sun's out.
All right.
We can go
Hey,
live.
Leah, you got a song coming up.
I do. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Corpus Christi. Good morning, Robstown. I hope y'all are having a wonderful drive into work this morning. It's Little Friday, almost the weekend. Now, we have a nice song going out to, who's this love song going to go out to this morning?
Let's send it out to Mo in Goliad, Rosalinda in Alice, and Curtis over in George West.
Ooh, Curtis. Okay.
He's a big-time listener. Oh, and Mingo in Skidmore.
There we go. I hope everyone's having a good morning. Here you go.
It's ready to go. Good morning, Andres and Mel. Thank you for joining. Oh, did you get the gum?
I did get the gum, and I ate it.
Oh, you don't have any more?
No, it should be.
You know, I think tomorrow morning,
Oh, it is.
I I have to get up at 3 so I can make coffee. As you can see, I'm shaking here. Where we go?
I know, and my Dr. Pepper's way over there.
Oh,
See? World's greatest Mimi. This is my coffee.
okay. Let me go around here. My arms are not very long. I'm going to get the next song ready. And I'm going to send the next song out to Ricky G. You know, this one you should keep the mic on. This is
Okay. Are you ready yet?
yeah, you know what? So let's try that joke again. Remember?
How that snake walked on in?
Yeah, this is really the main one.
I really like that Hill. Got a beautiful voice.
She sure does. This one.
I guess.
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to Magic Q 104.9 Robstown, Corpus Christi, Texas.
I know we got some more people starting to wake up too.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody has to get up at bright and early at 5.
Good morning, Kathy Ritterman. Kathy Ritterman is from Sinton, Texas, and she's an awesome woman.
I've seen her join. I've seen her on when you've been on.
She's the one that suggested that we promote May as Better Speech and Hearing Month. So thank you, Kathy.
That's awesome.
We have a weather report.
You know, I was looking at that weather.
Oh, tell us about it.
I got it. We have a slight chance of an afternoon popcorn shower here or there.
What's a popcorn shower?
Well, I'm kind of figuring that.
Is it like that snake that walked into the bar? Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, I wonder how he did that. Wait a minute.
Leah. I recorded her last night. So let's listen to another song by Tish Hinojosa. If I can get Leah to press that red button. Thank you.
All right, let's see. Kind of just sound like me. Guess it did rain last night.
Yes, it did.
Number 5.
You know, your color is so much better than mine on YouTube. Good morning, everyone on YouTube.
We are kind of bright. I like our background. We can see Lopez.
I wonder if it's the lighting. See how much darker?
It probably is because I'm right under that
Oh well, as long as you can see us.
That- fluorescent light.
Who's making breakfast? I know Andres is a nurse, and he's down at Spawn's house. Kathy is in Texas. Mel Madrigal is with the PA's office. Thank you, Mel. And Joseph Ramirez.
Good morning, everyone.
All around good guy.
There's a lot of activities going on this weekend too, don't we?
Dude, look at this. Yep, lots of activities.
Lord.
I haven't seen this before, but I picked it up the other day, and it's
This is a good little. Whoever puts this out. We threw with this. Oh my God! You know what I got in the mail? You know we get this Metro leader. Metro leader. So I pulled it out of the mailbox, all interested, ready to read it, and lo and behold, what
your
was that?
favorite person.
See her? Horrible picture. See? Where's she at? Now, I was trying to read. Now, I was trying to find out why. Of course, they can't tell me, but I guess she's got her nose in something. But look, they got a picture of these condos that are downtown.
The
What are they called?
Cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan, see?
I think that's an old picture of the mayor.
An old one?
An old one.
She looks kind of...
It's an old one. Okay, let's do a contest. First caller to identify this sound wins a gift certificate to La Playa on SPID. So we're going to play the noise, and then we'll play it again as soon as the song is over. Well, the song's almost over, so I'll just go ahead and wait. Here we go. Here's the sound for a gift certificate to La Playa. And just to save you guys some calls, it's not a squeaky bed. Okay, you ready for your next song? What's the name of it?
Is Let's Make Love with Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. They're going to sing together. Yep.
Okay, here's Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. Needles moving. It's moving. It's a soft beginning.
Yes. I guess. Yeah, I would think.
It's very soft. Moving Blades has a song like that. I have to turn it all the way up. And then you have to protect your ears because it'll blow your ears out.
Is it playing?
Yes.
It is, because that's blinking. There we go.
All right, now it's playing.
Now we're playing.
Rafa Perez, if you're out there anywhere near Stripes, can you please bring us 2 cups of black coffee? Hot.
Okay, so this is late spring.
I wonder if we can call Lyft and will they bring us coffee?
Right? I am
Let's do
so excited.
Well, tell them we'll pay them.
We have Lyft. We can take a Lyft. Yay!
That is so good.
And it's awesome. Oh, it's like $3 or $4. Like I'm taking a Lyft to go eat dinner with you last night and lifting myself right on back home.
Right.
And it's just so convenient. I'm so excited. Now, some of the city council not so excited because they don't think the state should have control. They think the city, of course, should have control.
Oh, my city rights.
Yeah, but I'm
nice.
happy to see at least we're moving up in the world.
Well, the taxi companies probably are not very happy, but maybe some of those, but on the other hand, they're independent cab drivers, so maybe they can go to work for Lyft and keep more of the profits. How much does a driver get to keep? Do you know?
Lyft takes 25%.
So the driver gets to keep 25% of the fare?
I guess. And I'm not sure. I think what it is whatever you make, 25% of it, and they don't pay you daily. They pay you on a weekly basis, and they'll take 25% off of whatever your profits are for the week.
I see. So you really have to have a lot of riders.
But yeah, and you have to hope that they tip, which is something that you should do, just like you would tip when you go to eat. I put in my application process just to see, and they do background checks. They check your registration. There's a list of things you have to go through, and they do verify every little. It took them 48 hours to verify my registration.
I have a question as soon as your song is over. If I can remember the question that long.
It's a pretty song.
Oh, I know.
I guess I didn't figure out that song. Everybody's mind's either out here thinking it's a squeaky bed and can't figure out anything else.
Well, you don't see that it's a plate. It's a toy, I guess you could say, and you don't really see it very much anymore. Then it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. 289-7788.
I don't even know what it is.
It really doesn't sound like one. Maybe we should try another sound. When the needles go into red, sometimes it's too loud. Try to keep it right there. I bet everyone who's watching us is drinking coffee.
You're dying for your cup of coffee, aren't you?
I'm just sitting there. Okay, here's what I wanted to say about Lyft. This was back in the 70s, and we had a very dear friend whose family owned one of the cab companies in Austin, Texas. And the guys in college enjoyed working for them because on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, they would get rides from Austin to Dallas, which meant that they would pick up $500 in one night on one ride, taking somebody back to Dallas or wherever they were going to. Do you know if Lyft will take someone to San Antonio and back?
That's a good question.
Would this new law allow them to cross county lines?
That's a good question. I'll look into that and find
Would that
out.
be inter or intrastate? Oops. There's an attorney on watching if you mail. Would that be interstate travel or intrastate? No, intra-county. Inter-county or intra-county. Right?
Right.
Yeah, because crossing state
I
lines.
don't know, but wouldn't that be kind of expensive?
Cheaper than a cab, and you can drink.
Right.
I think, would they allow drinking?
No, we can't do that.
Okay,
No.
you can't
I
drink
think,
and forget it.
because that's that open
Darn.
container that open container thing.
Wow.
But you can drink iced tea
Yes,
and
you
sit in the
can.
back and just enjoy
And
it.
just enjoy the
And
ride.
enjoy the ride of scenery.
Oh, that would be so nice to be able to enjoy the scenery. Yeah.
I think, I thought about the call and lift this morning. That the thought of being able to pick up the phone and call, not even call, get on your phone. If you look on your phone, on your map, it pops up with your little Lyft man.
Does it?
It does. And it tells you that there's Lyft drivers around you, and it'll be like 46 minutes before they can get to you. And it was just like the coolest thing ever.
Oh, super. I want you to show me that. I also got notification in the mail yesterday that Natural Grocers delivers.
Oh, y'all can't see, but look. See my little lip?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to mine in a second while we listen to this next song by... Why am I talking into my phone? While we listen to it.
Needs coffee. Please send coffee.
Okay, we're going to play song number 8 by Tish and Hossa. Okay, press the red button again.
Red?
Yeah, that one. Now press the green button. Okay. We're good. I've never heard this song. I don't know what number 8 is. Can you pass me the CD cover? This is by Tish and Hossa. This song, Esta Canción, it's a bilingual song. So where do I go?
You go to your maps. Yep. And then, see, before, you would just have technically drive or walk on there because Corpus isn't up to speed on the transit and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like put and then you hit ride, you'll have to have lift installed on it.
Or do I have to allow this little device to be able to locate me?
That's what you're gonna have to do. Yeah. Because
I think there's a big conspiracy and the government is spying on me. So I try not to connect to anything. Silly me.
See.
Okay.
Yeah, because it has to have your location. That's one of the big safety features.
Cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And then I heard that Uber is thinking I don't think Uber's said yes for coming. I think Uber's saying, well, after the way y'all treated us, we may be back in the summer.
And Carolyn Vaughn, she had some negative comments, didn't she?
She did.
She didn't like the library books. My gosh.
Yeah, she wasn't very happy about that. I saw that. And people do use. I've been to that library that's over here downtown, and I was amazed. I truly was. I was amazed at the amount of people that were actually in it during the daytime using it. A lot of people use it.
And they have computers at all the locations for public use, and it's free.
And you've got, so they have internet access. They have copy machines. You could rent videos and video games, and it was pretty interesting. Yes, Carolyn Vaughn, I believe, is the one that said that she wished it could be a city. The city could have more control over the Lyft Uber situation.
What kind of control is she talking about? Is it like the way that they, it's the way they monitor the taxi? I wonder if it's the way they monitor the taxis.
I think that, or I'm not sure. I would assume that the taxis have some type of, kind of like the tow companies with the city, contracts with the city.
some sort of an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. In the meantime, we do have Lyft if you need a ride anywhere. Leah, tell them about how they can get that Lyft, how to find it. How to find it on their mobile device.
On your mobile device, if you have the map application, down in the bottom of your map, it usually tells you how to drive to the location, walk to the location, and it's got your transit, which our transit doesn't work here because it just doesn't work. If you go to other cities that have large transportations, like when I was in Portland, Oregon, I was able to use the transit button to pick up the subway or whatever, their railway system. But then it's also got a ride button. And when you have Lyft in your vicinity, all you have to do is hit the little ride button, and it gives you the option. Immediately after that bill was signed from the governor's office on Uber drivers and Lyft almost immediately that evening had everything working here in the Corpus area. So it was almost instant. I mean, they were ready to get back here. And then it gives you a couple of options. Regular Lyft, which is your normal rates, and then you have what they call Lyft Plus, which if you do the Plus, it's going to be a little bit more expensive.
Well, what does that mean, plus?
Plus means maybe a little bigger car, a little faster service. You may not have to wait as long. More cars in that area. So, like right now, I don't know, it would take from here to my home. I have about a 1 minute wait.
So there's a Lyft driver circling around?
There's a Lyft driver in the area. Yeah.
Coffee. Yeah, in exchange for coffee, we'll promote you.
Exactly. And so it would cost me about $8 to get home without tip from here.
On a regular taxi, that would be like $25.
See, that's...
Whoa, what a difference. Oh my, taxi cab companies are not going to be very happy.
No, I wouldn't think so. But I find it to be a more cost-effective way, especially when you're traveling and don't necessarily have access to a vehicle or don't want to rent a vehicle, or you just want to jump in the car and go to the art museum.
So Leah, when we have guests from out of town and they come from a big city that has all these features and they get here and they go to the map and then to look for a ride, the only thing that will pop up is Lyft. The local RTA transit schedule won't pop up?
No, we do not have the local RTA. We're not sophisticated enough. They got that big fancy building, but we're not sophisticated enough to have our transit on our map apps. No, and I go to, and you might want to pay attention. I know you go to San Antonio a lot. They've got the bus system, and their bus system is probably on the transit. People that have railway stations that have like subways and metro lines and stuff like that, they'll have the different transits on there to where you can see. It's really cool. Granted, I got lost the first time. But
well, I think it's a good service, especially for people who ride the bus, because they are the customers. These are people without cars or people who choose to conserve the environment and decide that they want to ride a bus to work. I think that I would enjoy riding a bus, but from what I hear, and this is just hearsay from people who ride the bus, that sometimes the bus is not on time. But the biggest complaint that I have as a citizen is when I drive by a bus stop and I see whoever it is waiting for the bus and there's not a bus cover and it's 100 degrees outside. They don't have a hat. They don't have access to water. Yet we have a brand new multi-million-dollar building downtown. And then some of the covers that we do have, they're not to protect the people from the sun. They're those little, I don't know, wave covers. That doesn't cover anything. And it's just typical Corpus Christi. Hmm.
Oh, goodness. I drove, I've been gone for about 3 weeks. So the last couple of days, I got to drive down, whatever you want to call it. And you need to be careful. And then people are, getting mad because I'm driving slow. Well, I drive slow because if you hit some of them inventions or bumps or whatever you want to call it, it will mess your car up.
Plus, it says 25 miles per hour.
It does.
It has it every 20 yards, and people don't follow the
pay
rules.
any attention to it whatsoever.
Yeah, I was coming back from having dinner with you last night, and I was going 25 miles an hour. Well, you would have thought I was a demon or an evil person. The people behind me were honking, and I thought it's 25
And blowing
miles
by
an
you.
hour.
And just
Where are the police? Oh, they were you and I. We in there. Shift after shift. They eat at you and I. Shift after shift after shift. They have like a 7-course meal plus dessert.
yeah,
But I guess they deserve it.
they do.
They monitor crime. So we got another song going out? To who?
Let's
Do
send.
you have one ready?
I do have one
Okay,
ready.
let's go.
Let's send this out.
Good morning, Johnny Carlos Vasquez and Michael Chavez. I think Michael Chavez is from Houston, Texas.
Really?
Yeah, he used to live in Corpus Christi.
Good morning, Houston. I
Big
love
H.
Houston.
I do too.
This is I Got My Baby by Faith Hill, and we're going to send this out to Kyle, to David, and to Lupe.
Ooh, ready? Okay, press the other one. There we go. That happens to me all the time.
At least it didn't take us long.
Right? It gets better. Oh, I forgot.
Oh, this is not I Got My Baby. This is not what I Got My Baby. This is What's in It for Me. So I think we're supposed to really have rain like the rest of the week. I'm going to check that.
Well, I'm happy because I planted grass and I still need rain. I got my electric bill.
And
No, it's $74.
speaking of bills, what is it? And I need all the great citizens of Corpus Christi's help on this one. Wastewater fees, which are astronomical here, but based on the consumption of water that's used. Okay, so we had a leak. Sorry, I did. I didn't want to have it replaced immediately because in my mind, crazy as it may sound, I thought, okay, the water's leaking. With the problems that we have with the water, my water will be running constantly so I can keep it a little bit clearer. So I didn't have the leak fixed, and it wasn't something that it wasn't like a gushing leak, so I didn't fix it. Okay. So I increased my water bill. But my wastewater charges are based on that average of water usage for that 12-month period, and won't be reviewed again until every 2 years. We're on a 2-year wastewater. So whatever your average is for the year is what it's going to be, and we're stuck. So, and they won't adjust it. They won't reread it whether you've had a leak or not, or repaired it. They won't go back and look. You're just stuck with that rate for the rest of the year. If you had your leak in, say, mid-year.
Well, I wonder if that's standard in every city. Is this Corpus?
It's not standard. I started reading up on it and looking at some other, because they always say, well, in other large cities, they do this. So I looked at the other large cities that they always compare us to, which is Houston and San Antonio. I don't think I looked at Dallas. But no, they have about a year to where they will average it based on year to year, but they reevaluate it yearly. It's not every 2 years. And the city just won't budge. Of course, I called and, oh, and I asked about, because I applied for the water commission. And I applied back when they announced that there was open positions for boards and their committees. And they appointed a few boards at the very beginning. And I kept wondering, well, what's up with the water board? And so I sent an email and asked. And of course, that was been put on hold until after the at-large placement of the city council person. And that is decided by the mayor. So I guess Mr. McCombs or Mayor McCombs would have to make that decision. But it just goes to show you, it was supposed to have been done when some of the other ones were done a while back. There's no reason that they couldn't have followed through with it or why they had to push it back. So, oh well, I guess I won't be on that commission.
And it was just that commission. That's interesting. There's so much control, internal control here in Corpus Christi. For so many years, if you didn't get Durden and Fulton to construct your project, you didn't do business in Corpus Christi. Now that has changed. Ewing Construction out of San Antonio started to change that. But it used to be when I first came here, and you had big government contracts to build buildings. It was done by Durden and Fulton. That's just the way it was.
Oh, are they at Fulton? Is that in relation to Fulton?
Yes.
Oh, I just stopped the music, didn't I?
Yes, you did, but that's all right. That happens. Here we go. We just turned that on. We're good.
I hope y'all weren't enjoying that song. I'd had just about enough.
Always have a backup song. Here we go. Thank you, Tish and Alyssa. We're waiting for the top of the hour so we can play station identification, but you're listening to Magic Q 104.9 Robstown, Corpus Christi, Texas, right here on the edge of the Wild Horse Desert. Did you know we live on the edge of a desert, Leah?
What desert?
It's called El Desierto Muerto. It's also called the Wild Horse Desert. And it's an area between Kingsville and Raymondville and McAllen. And it's really a desert.
Oh,
it's been irrigated.
Really?
Mm-hmm. By the farmers and the ranchers.
Oh, cool.
But it's really a desert. And that's why there's water that is placed out in the desert for immigrants that are crossing, because it gets intensely hot and there's no water available for anyone crossing on foot.
That I always wondered about that when I was traveling to the valley, because you can just see the heat, and you know that they're out there, and that was always a concern for me.
You know, with all the technology that we have, if we really wanted to save lives could be saved, because the INS has the technology and has the monitors in the ground in many areas that detect movement. You know, regardless if it's an animal or a human being, but that's not the job of ICE to save lives.
No.
But they could.
You know, when we were on a job in the valley, we stayed in Rancho Viela down in the valley, and we stayed in I guess they were like duplexes, townhome type things, but there was a lot of military staying there and a lot of flyboys. So I talked to them, and they were down there because they were helping protect the border. And they said that you literally could see them on the other side, on the Mexico side, loading up on like blow-up mattresses.
Air tubes.
Blow-up mattresses. And then you had people on this side in the big fancy cars waiting. But then when they would see the Border Patrol agents or the military, or people in the middle crossing the Rio Grande and take off, and you'd never see hide nor hair of them again. And then you've got these immigrants trying that the Border Patrol is trying to rescue or get back to the other side, and they do. They say they do help them back to
the other side.
So that.
Well, that's good. At least they do that.
At least those told me that.
Mm-hmm.
But he said you can. They fly over, and they fly over at different times, and they've got stuff in their little fancy helicopters that detects the heat way down on the ground, and they can see even in wooded areas, heavily wooded or heavily brushed areas.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like red spots where
people are. So they could do flyovers over the Wild Horse Desert and detect heat.
And he didn't seem so much that they were out to get him. They were more out to help them or to get them, because some of them sit out in this for a while. It's hot out there.
It is.
To get them back to areas to where they're cool and they have liquid and and stuff like that. He was a really nice person. He was very informative though. And they can't always operate. They've got conditions too that keep them from operating. But they were putting in some long hours, like 12-hour shifts. Sometimes they would work all day.
So they're border monitors?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there were military people.
They're actual military.
Is it the Army, Marine, Air Force, Navy?
Air Force.
Air Force.
Air Force.
What kind of planes are they flying? Do you know?
No, some of that's top secret.
Are they drones or those Tweety birds? Those little ones? Those one man?
They're actual. No, he said he piloted the helicopters.
Back in the 70s when my husband was stationed at Barksdale Air Force Base, they had these little planes called Tweety birds. And
that's a good name.
I bet 3 or 4 Tweety birds would fit in this room. They were the pre-drone.
Oh, cool.
And it was during Vietnam, and at Barksdale, that's where the those B-52 bombers were located. Every morning at 3 or 4 a.m., all across Shreveport, you could hear the engines as they started the engines, because they had to start the engines every morning. Go up in the air and then come back and land. And it was loud, roaring noise for about 2 hours. But the Tweety birds were used for reconnaissance, and they were stationed there at the base before being sent to classified locations. I thought that was very interesting, because I would go with my husband down to the control tower at night when all the pilots would be there, and it would just be interesting to listen to them talk about what they had to do, etc. Now I was a student, and I had a secondary motive for going. I am not good at math. And the pilots would help me with my math homework. In fact, they would do it for me. It was so easy for them. They would have it done like in 15 minutes, and I was good to go. Needless to say, they couldn't take the test for me. I passed.
We were just in Killeen, which is where Fort Hood is, and talk about a huge base. I did not realize how massive Fort Hood is. But Ken said when he was at the job site, explosion after explosion after explosion. I said, Ken, you're hearing things. Really? Come on. They're not going to be bombing stuff or doing mortars or whatever in the middle of the night when people try to sleep. Well, he ran into an Army gentleman at the hotel that we were staying at, and sure enough, they do it 24/7 out there. And so what he was hearing was them firing off round after round, and I'm thinking, well, how in the world is anybody around that base getting any sleep? But I was amazed at the size of it, and every entrance had a guard at it. Whereas, usually, like at Randolph, they've got gates closed, and they've got their main gate and maybe one other gate open. But any part to the residential or anything like that, they have the gates closed. So they only have to have guards at the main gate, maybe another gate. They had guards at every single gate, and a lot of those entrances were entrances. So, and then across the street from it was some big military arsenal. It's another big piece of property where Lord knows what they do.
What they have in there. Well, these bases are huge because that's where they train. I thought the Barksdale Air Force Base was, just self-contained base where people lived and conducted business. But being young, I accompanied my husband many times to different places where he had to go. But there were many locations on the base that were off limits to civilians and families because that's where they did whatever it is they do. But these bases are huge, and I don't think people realize how big these bases are. We're talking about thousands and thousands of acres.
They are. And when Ken and I, we did to Oregon to marry my best friends, and we drove and took our time. We found, and I'll have to ask him, some secret areas driving, I want to say New Mexico, Arizona, that were like secret military bases where they did. I'll have to ask him. It was the most interesting. It's kind of scary actually because you're out driving through the middle of the highway in the deserts, and which makes perfect sense for them to have it out there to do whatever. And one of them was kind of a controversial one that we drew by. I'll have to ask him when we talk about it tomorrow, but it was kind of interesting.
Leah, you're from San Antonio, and there's a turnoff, but it's a turnoff that takes you to St. Mary's off of 420. It's not South Sonora. It's that other big street, the one that Culebra. Okay, so you take Culebra to the right, you go into St. Mary's, but on the right-hand side, you pass some research center where they have lock gates. They have security guards at the front, and they do biomedical research or other research.
Oh, are you talking about Southwest Texas Research Facility?
Yes. What is that?
They test monkeys. I mean, they have a lot of monkeys there.
And what are they? Is it medical? So they're.
There's, I think, a little bit of everything. I actually worked for a company that did some renovation projects.
Good morning, Rosalinda.
And that's some big research facility.
It used to not have that much security
No.
in the 90s.
Yes. So
but
I'm
they
wondering.
really beefed it up.
They did. And that was part of that. Yes, that was part of the renovation we worked on. And there was not access in there. And I never really wanted to, I know that testing has to be done, but I'm not one that bothers me. So that's not one of my favorite places. But people have to, it has to be done.
What's the option? Humans.
True.
You know, and I don't know, there's so many different opinions on, medical testing, experiments, etc. But that's how I think the medical profession has been able to wipe out many diseases that, wipe out populations. And so, you know, it is what it is.
It is. And as long as, I know they do it, but I don't have to go in there and know that, because I'd be one of those that would go in there. Have you seen that movie where they had all the animals caged up and then either a person or an animal let them all out and they were right? Yep, I would be that person.
You would let them all
the
out.
cages. Security alert, please let the monkeys out.
Who let the monkeys out? Who let the dogs out? And that's a song. Who let the dogs out? Do we have a song ready to go?
We do. We're going to have some Cowboys and Angels.
Cowboys and Angels. Let me ask you a question. You keep up with city politics. And there's an old rumor that is resurfacing again that Michael Hunter will be challenging Blake Farenthold. Is that good news?
Oh, that would be amazing news. If that rumor is actually going around, I would love, that's one intelligent, very smart, transparent individual. And I'm not talking about Blake Farenthold. Excuse me, Blake Farenthold?
Farenthold.
Farenthold. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Michael Hunter. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be all over that because I'm all over to get Blake out in 2018.
Yeah, I think Michael Hunter would be a very good choice. He is a Republican, but that is a Republican district right now. When they gerrymander it, I'm wondering if he would still have the strength or the vote to win. His mother side, the family side, is from Victoria, Texas. Todd Hunter, his father, has represented that area for years and years and years. He's a likable young man, and I think he is the type of candidate that people would cross over, that Democrats will cross over and vote for to get rid of Blake.
Yeah, he's young, he's energetic.
Is there a Democrat emerging?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I took kind of a mediocre 3-week vacation from politics. Tried to, anyway. Mm-hmm. That didn't work very well. So I put some things on the back burner. But I know that Blake was here in town this week because he was out at the Lady Lexington. Of course, I'm sure he didn't meet with anybody. Haven't people been trying to meet with him?
I think so.
They have been, because when my mom and dad were here for my grandson's birthday at the beginning of May, they made a comment that this was going on. And I said, oh, where'd y'all drive by? And they drove by his office on Shoreline, right by the Whataburger. And I said, oh, that must have been good old Blake's office. Yeah, he doesn't want to have a town meeting. He doesn't want to talk to the people in Corpus. Just only certain folks.
Yeah. And I think they also protested in front of Todd Hunter's office.
Did they?
Yeah, which was a little bit of a surprise because, he's a popular guy as well. But he's a Republican.
Yeah. That would be awesome if Michael Hunter. I haven't heard much from Michael Hunter lately. We got so far we have 6 people that have turned in their applications for the at-large position.
Do you know who they are?
I don't. I know that Larry White, who ran for mayor, Chad McGill. There's a hotel operator.
I really look better on YouTube than Facebook. Excuse me? Yeah.
She's not liking that Facebook thing. He's a hotel operator. And then there's a couple other people that I'm not real familiar with. So it ought to be interesting.
Chad McGill, is he in or out?
He's in, I believe. I think that's what I heard. The last time I looked, they had 4, and then they said 2 more had put their names in, and I believe Chad was one of them, and then not sure who the other is.
We didn't get a call from Judy this morning.
Working?
Judy LaPont. No, it's working. Judy LaPont, if you're listening, it's the first Thursday of the month. Judy LaPlante, 289-7788 or 289-8877. All right, let's go to the next song for just a moment while we on here. What is it with this? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, that stays there. Are you ready to go?
Oh, yep.
It's playing now. There we go.
There, the lighting's better. It's because this one's under this light.
Yeah, the lighting is really good over here.
Hopefully I can breathe.
Oh, I know. We gotta take a picture.
I'm gonna
That is a little scary, isn't it?
It's, yeah, it's, and God, if you touch it, it's going to
Well,
go out.
obviously they know.
Yeah. But it's weird because it
We
wasn't.
don't have any political commentaries this morning, the way I usually do on the show, but we will have some tomorrow morning. We have to talk about President Trump and his trips abroad and what's going on at the international level, what's going on in the Middle East and the Pacific Rim, all very important information for our community. And for those of you with young people in your family that are contemplating enlisting in the military, it's important for you to keep up with what's going on.
Is it better?
There, that kind of improved. You know, Leah, turn off this light right there and see what happens. No. Either way, yeah, light. It's better with the light on. Okay, it'll work. Yeah, there we go.
Where is it?
Planet K in San Antonio.
Yeah, we don't have those.
Not here. That's something else we don't have. For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to Majic Q 104.9, Robstown, Corpus Christ, Texas. I'm Alicia and I'm here this morning with Leah Tyner. The sun is coming out, but it's very, very humid outside, and it is raining across parts of the city. If you're traveling, let us know what the weather is where you are. Let's listen to another song by Tish Hinojosa. It's 6:35, and we've got about 20 minutes before the top of the hour at 7 a.m. So if you're up and getting ready, getting your children or your grandchildren ready for school, just remember that it is a bit cool outside and it is raining and sprinkling around the city. So leave a few minutes early, give yourself some extra time to get where you're going. This is a song by Tish Hinojosa.
I think it's going to be raining today. It's still ugly outside.
So what I was having trouble with on my last video on Facebook, I turned the sound up, is you could hear my voice, although it was low, but you couldn't hear the music. So I'm wondering if we need a speaker next to this, a microphone next to this.
That's possible. I'm going to have Ken come in and look.
Okay, because when you listen to this later, I think you'll pick up on the music. It goes kind of, actually, I don't think they can hear the music.
Okay. And see, like on this one, I'm kind of glad. Facebook sometimes, you know, when I post videos sometimes on Facebook that I make and I add music to, it pops them back to me because it says that I'm infringing on copyright.
Yeah.
That's all I need to do is get blocked. Have you ever been blocked?
Never.
Neither have I. Yay!
Well, you know, actually, I was blocked. The very first time I posted a Facebook video, I was blocked, and they asked me the question, did I or not, did I have the right to be playing that music? And I went, yes. We're at a radio station.
Yeah.
And, you know, the radio, the Lopez Broadcasting pays CSAC and these other companies to be able to play the music. So I put yes,
There you
and
go.
so I've not been blocked since.
Yeah, that's what I did. I mean, it gives them credits in the flipogram or whatever I was putting on there, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Now on YouTube, I've got such a good little rating on my little copyright and my infringements and they're YouTube's a lot stricter on their policies. But they've got a good program on being able to tell you too. If you're doing something bad.
They'll communicate with you.
Yeah. They give me smiley faces or sad faces.
Good morning, Renee. Teddy from San Antonio, Texas has joined us this morning. She used to live in Corpus Christ, Texas, and she posts pictures of her grandchildren, and they are the cutest, most adorable children you can think of. Next to your grandchildren, of course.
Yes. My beautiful furry. And don't we all think? I know my mom used to say, I got the cutest kids in the world. I got the prettiest grandbabies. And we all do. They're all just a joy.
When my son was born, he was born at Carswell Air Force Base, and I was a student at the time, and one of the classes decided to go see me. And as they were viewing the babies, they all said, oh, look, there's Alan. He's the cutest baby of all. And they were just gushing and gushing and gushing. And one of the dads says, you know, there's other babies here, too. What you got coming up? We're introducing country and western to the talk of the town, adding a little bit of country and western political songs into the mix here. Leah, what's the next song?
This next song is The Change by Garth Brooks. And for all those Garth Brooks fans, I'm a huge Garth Brooks fan. Just FYI, he's going to be at the Houston Rodeo this next year.
Ooh.
Tickets going on sale in September, and I'll be first to get mine. Front row. Yeah. So this is The Change. One, two, three, 4, 5.
Is 10 out
No,
there?
it's not either.
Oh, well, tell us what it is.
It's not The Change. We're rolling.
She's still holding it.
Y'all all know I'm going to go home and take a nap after this. This is to get you up and moving.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's got me moving.
This white girl can't dance.
I can't either. I never could. I could do the twist, but I better not.
Now, I think I can after I've had a margarita.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I had dollar margaritas last night at U&I. I didn't realize. First time I've been to U&I. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the dollar margarita. I mean, you can't beat that.
That's a good deal. And it wasn't a little tiny glass either.
No, it was really good. It was mighty tasty. And then I took my husband and I introduced him to Urbana in downtown. If you haven't been there, everybody needs to go try that place.
It's delicious.
It is, and you can have a little beer, or you can have a little glass of champagne with your lunch, with your sandwich. We had a nice little glass of Prosecco in a little bitty bottle. It was enough for just one glass, barely a half glass each.
So they have a wine selection?
They do.
I usually just drink beer when I go there.
Yeah, they have a wine selection, but then they sell it by the glass. We tried some of their wonderful desserts. And I had the prime rib sandwich.
That sounds good.
Doesn't it? I'm getting hungry. A little breakfast, a little morning nap.
That sounds very good. And it's raining outside. Perfect time for a nap.
Perfect time, except for I gotta get ready to go out of town next week.
Well, no wonder it sounded like that. We had 2 CDs going on here at one time.
We did?
Not anymore.
How did you figure that one out?
Well, I couldn't figure out what was going on, and so I looked here, and we had them both on.
Did y'all like that little twist?
So when will the city council announce their selection
I
for
believe
replacing Joe McCollum?
June the 20th.
June the 20th.
Yes.
For those of you that are tuning in on Facebook, we're also on YouTube. And we look a little bit better on YouTube because the lighting is better. So if you have YouTube, you can also catch us on YouTube. How do they search for us on YouTube?
That's a good question. So what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to attach this live broadcast that we've been doing on YouTube to Alicia's Facebook page, so that everybody can subscribe to the YouTube page and have the information, and then I will find out that exact information. I've only had this YouTube account forever, but no, I don't know. I believe it's under Leah Tyner. It's a search for Leah Tyner.
Okay. And you can catch us on YouTube.
But I will definitely get it linked.
Good morning, Susie Luna Saldana. Great to see you here on Facebook and YouTube. Ray McMurray has joined us from Austin, Texas.
Good morning, Raymond. Going well in Austin.
Well, that's where it's happening in Texas.
It is.
Well, Austin and San Antonio, the corridor.
Is.
You know, the corridor between Corpus Christi and San Antonio is beginning to build up.
It is.
It used to be where you could leave Corpus Christi and not see another headlight till you got close to George West or the Loop 420. But there's so much development going on along the IH-37 that, I don't know, 10, 20 years from now, it'll look like the corridor between San Antonio and Austin. I remember living in Austin in the early 70s and taking my son to the zoo or to other places in San Antonio, and there wasn't any traffic. You know, there was, right? But not very much at all.
Not like it is now.
Not at all, and it's such a difference. MOPAC was just being built in Austin, Texas, and you know, we live within the loop, so it was very easy to get around, but these cities have just grown up around us. Corpus Christi, though, doesn't seem to grow.
It doesn't, and there's several factors in that. You know, the coastal excuse, I'm not buying the coastal excuse anymore, because there's other coastal areas that lots of people go to. And
Buenos dias, Raymond.
I can say that too, Raymond. I used to go to school with Raymond.
Todos mis amigos. Who's that? Bill Bessie.
Now, see, I forgot, Raymond, what I was talking about.
The coastal excuse.
Oh, yeah, the coastal excuse. Because I've been to Galveston. I've been to Port Arthur just recently, Port Neches, Surfside, that area, coastal. And I actually did a lot driving through Port Arthur, looking at all the restaurants and the streets and the drainage ditches that were clean, you know, just things like that. So yeah, not buying. Is that rain?
It sounds like rain. It is.
Well,
It's raining again.
see, I told you a
Yay!
pop-up shower or two. Well, this is a little bigger one. I'm gonna go see. Let me go get your weather forecast for the morning.
Okay, very good. And in the meantime, I'll see about continuing this conversation here. So we've got some guests coming up, and it is raining. Is it raining heavily outside?
Shining. You know what that means?
What? What does it mean when the sun is shining?
Somebody told me that meant that the devil was beating his wife when I was little.
The devil is beating his wife. Oh my.
Yeah, that's what, I don't know where I got that one from.
I heard that God's wife was throwing out the wash water. Yeah.
That's
evil and good.
Right?
But what was really happening was what? What creates precipitation? Heat and cold? Oh God, how did we get on this subject?
Right? With meteor, you know what?
Neither one of us know.
No, and I'm not meteorologist, but light rain today, off and on, with daytime heating showers. There we go.
Daytime heating showers.
That's what they say.
I wonder what that means.
Showers, because when it heats up in the day, it produces thunderstorms.
Okay.
But we don't need any more because electricity goes out and it stays out for hours here.
Well, that's because we live on the coast.
No. Oh no, that's because when I was driving down the road the other day, working so hard with their feet all kicked up in the truck like this, sitting on the side of the road. And this was about 6 o'clock until I started taking my pictures with my camera, and then they kind of set up in the truck. And
those guys, you know, it's got to be hard to work outdoors.
It does.
It's got to be hot.
Hot. And you know, I wonder if they supply them with water, or if that's something that we made sure that we had the big orange igloos with water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we didn't supply Gatorade or anything like that, but I wonder if companies send them out with a igloo, you know.
Surely they do. But, you know, you would think that they would. We're watching a drip here at the station.
Drip.
And there is a bucket catching the drip, but we're unsure as to how long before the partition falls.
Hopefully after we're gone.
Yes,
in
hopefully
10 minutes.
after we're gone. So let's play another song here. Let me just turn this on.
What are we playing?
Let me put something on. Oh, I know. Let me see if I can find Raul Salinas. He's got some really good political poetry.
And then
that we can share
before
with
we go today, I need to announce on the radio, we've got a lot of Pride, and the Pride downtown, the LGBT is having all their events this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The Pride Parade downtown and the Watt Party.
And that's this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Where will they be starting? What time does it start?
That's a good question. I am trying to find that now.
So let's hear some political poetry this morning, political songs by Raul Salinas. Let's see. 16. All right. I think that you'll enjoy listening to this by Raul Salinas. That's it.
Mientras Prophet soar skyward in classic
This is when I don't think that the people can hear it.
So we need to figure out.
How to get it, what to do with the sound in order for the listeners to be able to hear the music.
Crisis. Smokestacks spew, fuming and farting. Belching river runs red. Dead fish and human bodies. Banks lined with bills.
Yep, that kind of see the yard.
All incorporados. Devorados by the monstruo multinacional.
And Mr. Rand come in shortly and look at.
Flushed across that Rio Bravo.
Let me see if I can show you what it sounds like.
Grandstanding good Yankee Doodle boys, strong arm twisting, politics of no choice, in back rooms under the table, heavy duty bulldog and green belt and rust belt turning yellow. Strange fellows, los funcionarios, in and out of political beds, dead inside this treaty dishonoring colony.
You know what? Go ahead and play some songs. I want to hear what this sounds like on the radio.
Okay.
Downsizing the dignity of humanidad has lost it. Pero percepto in the southeastern mountains of Mexico, en un amanecer, Mayan guerrilla bands are waiting, patient, vigilant, and calm. We have to shed, master, shed, master, shed, master. Knowledge is beginning. Knowledge has no end.
It sounds okay.
Knowledge is forever. Knowledge is living. Live and learn. Live and teach. Live,
It does.
You can hear it.
live again.
Let me go see if I can
Knowledge is beginning.
hear it on Facebook. That's the one I don't
And you
think.
will know. Walk and be. Walk in harmony. Walk into spirit worlds. Knowledge has no end. Stay busy. Stay strong. Stay honest. Stay rested. Knowledge is forever. Talk to comfort. Talk to honor. Talk of injustice. Talk for healing. Knowledge is living. Knowledge is living.
Can't hear it. What's going on right now?
Knowledge has
Okay, so what we need to do is figure out how to get that.
We will.
Okay, I need to put that to,
On. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off from Facebook. If you want to catch us on YouTube, we're live on YouTube.
and we'll have that link later on Alicia's page. I will put that up there sometime this morning or by this afternoon for tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning.
Thank
Good morning,
you.
John Mesa. We're on from 5 to 7. John Mesa is an awesome poet here in Corpus Christi, and we need to invite him back so he can read some of his poetry on the air for people in South Texas. Good morning, John Mesa. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you all for tuning